So let's break down the American English vowels for you one by one, really help you build an understanding of what the sound is, how it's spelled, what accent error patterns you might have for it, and how to correct your speech for vowels. Vowel A, our black cat vowel, is a front lax open vowel. And what that means is the front of my tongue is down behind the back of my teeth, the back of my tongue is lifted, and my jaw is fairly open. A, cat, ba, bat. It's the most open of the front vowels, and it is typically spelled with letter A, which is why I call it black cat. When we work on A, it can be helpful to also reference the eh vowel of red tent and the I vowel, like bat, bet, and bit. It's also useful to know about the ah vowel, which is an open back vowel. So these are both open. This one's back and this one's front. All that means is that for the front vowel, ah, like ha, hat, the back of my tongue is lifted. Ah, like hot, my whole tongue is down. Let's break down ah for you, talk about accent error patterns and spelling, and how to correct any of those errors you may have. So the symbol for the black cat vowel is an A and an E smushed together. It is just one sound, even though it may look like two because of how that's written. That's just to distinguish it from the ah vowel in hot, which has the IPA symbol of this type of A. So this one is ah. The good thing to know is that when letter A is by itself in a stressed syllable, the most typical pronunciation for that sound is the ah vowel. So we do typically spell it with letter A, like in cat or mad or ask. If you speak another language as your native language, when you see A, you're more likely to think of the ah vowel, like in father. When we talk about ah, I'll go into more detail of how we spell it, but it's much more typical for us to spell ah with letter O. We do spell ah with letter A in a word like father, but almost 95% of the time, when you see letter A by itself, it's going to be this ah vowel and not the ah vowel. So starting to associate letter A with the ah sound can be very helpful for pronunciation and understanding in English. The errors we typically have are one, that we're saying the ah vowel instead of the ah vowel. So you might be saying ask instead of ask, or lost instead of last. Fortunately, that's for some words the way it's pronounced in British English, so it won't matter as much for being understood, but it is helpful if you're trying to use the American pronunciation to be consistent and have letter A say the ah sound rather than the ah sound. The other error is often that people will be a little bit too closed, so they won't have the front of the tongue far enough down and the jaw far enough open, and so they're trying to say man, for example, and it'll come out sounding a little more like men. So it's not that you may go fully to that vowel, but as we have seen with our other vowels, when we're looking at the I, eh, and ah, there's a range, and you could find yourself somewhere too high, closer to eh, rather than open enough for the ah sound. When I am talking in fluent speech, I'm not opening so far like that, man, but as you're trying to establish this vowel, feeling that ah, ba really does have more jaw opening is very helpful. As I'm speaking, I will still use my tongue to get that opening in the front, back of the tongue lifted, but I don't necessarily open my jaw really far because it would be difficult and slow to open that far. When you're training that sound, use whatever you need to feel the difference between bit, bet, bat. As you're speaking, start to establish and hear that ah sound for bat. So yeah, that's helpful. Also going in the direction of bat, bet, bit, as we've talked about in our previous vowels, really being able to establish those 3 points for those vowels that are lax in the front that you may not have in your native language can be super helpful. Okay, so primarily this one is about recognizing letter A as ah, and then getting the correct placement, that it's front and not back, and that it's open and not mid. Let's just do a quick review. We had the E vowel in green tea, the I vowel in pink pig, the vowel in red tent, the vowel in black cat, and the A diphthong in grade day. These are the front vowels for American English. You can get more help and more details on each of these in my videos for those, and in our Sounds of English course, we'll go through in detail how to correct accent error patterns you may have on those sounds, common words they're in, practice materials for you to really solidify those vowel sounds. So I hope you'll check that out. It's our Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. Thanks so much for being with me today for this vowel lesson for the front vowels of American English.